Welcome, Oklahoma educators. I'm excited to share the Define Learning resource with you. Define Learning is a web resource for teachers in grades K through 12. We have hundreds of performance tasks on our site that are all wrapped around the lens of a real-world career. Today, I'm going to share with you how you can search for content, navigate the site, and customize all of our projects. I'll also talk about assigning as well. So let's get started. At the top of our page, you're going to find our course library. Our courses are really a collection of projects with authentic and engaging opportunities for students to demonstrate deeper learning and build future-ready skills. So I'm going to share with you how you can search through one of our courses. You also can search, if you look to the top of the page, by using our keyword search bar or by clicking the magnifying glass, which will allow you to refine the search by subject, course, unit, or your grade band. For today, as I said, I'm going to go through our homepage through one of our courses. So just to give you an idea of what a course looks like, I thought I would start with art integration. When I click into art integration, it's going to give me 3 choices. And depending on my grade band, I'll choose the course that's the best fit for me. And for today, I'm going to look at grades K through 5. Now, looking at this course, it's broken down by different units. So these are some of the units that you'll find within art integration. Our first is Black History. We have Hispanic Heritage. We have Women's History. We also have Art and Fiction. So this is an example of one of our courses. I'm going to take us back to that home screen, and I'd like to dive into science with you and walk you through one of our performance tasks. So let me go ahead and click on science. You'll notice here a description about this course. And as I scroll down, you'll see from grade band K all the way up through 12, the different courses that are offered within science. Let's search something in the middle. How about elementary life science, grades 3 to 5? When we get into our course, at the top of the page, there's a few things I'd like to highlight with you. First, there's a description of the course, and then there are 3 other features. Just want to share what's available here. We do have our course playbook, which offers implementation suggestions. We have our task plan, which is super helpful. It gives teachers an approximate idea of how long each section of the task will take. The top third of the page contains a very brief version of that, giving you step-by-step what the students are working on and approximately how long it will take them. There's also a more in-depth version if you prefer. And let me click on this one to share with you. These are found in the center of the page. You will need to make a copy, and once you do, it will give you a document that you can use like a lesson plan and plug in your standards or perhaps a curriculum unit or connection that you're working on or making. And then as you scroll through this template, you'll also see those steps of the task along with approximate time durations. And the great thing here is you can type into any part of this and really make it your own. As we get back to the task, let's take a look at the unit outline associated with elementary life science. So within the unit outline, you'll see choices such as ecosystems, environments, and organisms. You'll see ecosystems and organisms, matter and energy. We also have a unit on life cycles, inheritance, and structure and function. As we scroll back to the top of the page, I am going to share with you one of the performance tasks found in our life cycles unit. You can see each unit has a variety of performance tasks that you can choose from to use with your students. I am a big fan of the naturalist monarch butterfly, so I'm going to go with that one. Now, when I do, at the top of the screen, you're going to see we have this slideshow, and this is actually the task for the students to view. Depending on your grade band, if you're working with students in grades K through 2, you may want to share this whole group on a smartboard or something like that. Or if students are in grades 3 and up, they may be working on this in small groups or individually, and they can watch it on their own device. So let me go ahead and take us full screen so that we can take advantage of the slideshow. And let's begin a walkthrough of it. So the first thing you'll find is an introduction. It'll give you and your students a little bit of information on what this task is all about. And these are super short. They're approximately 30 seconds long. After the introduction, you will always find a real-world connection video. These videos may feature a person in their real-world career giving information about their jobs and what they do. Sometimes they may even make a connection to things they do in their job that pertain to math or science or technology or art. You may also find an animated version of this video, depending on the grade band. From there, you'll find our real-world connection follow-up questions. So these are questions that you can use with your students and discuss as a whole group, or they can answer again individually or as part of their team. The next slide will feature the GRASP template. This is the goal, role, audience, and situation. So the goal really is the outcome of this experience. The role is who are they going to adopt in order to accomplish that goal? And it'll be the role of the professional in the field. The audience that they're going to be presenting to may be theoretical, maybe people coming in from the community. And last would be the situation, which will provide the students with more contextual information. This also comes in a script version as well, so you can see here outlined the goal, role, audience, and situation. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek at this video. I'm just going to play it for you so that you get a feel of what this task is all about.
Your goal is to teach people about the monarch butterfly's life and migration. People who live in the towns or cities that are located along the flight path need to know more about what they can do to make sure the monarch butterfly can survive its migration journeys. Your role is a naturalist, and you study organisms such as insects in their homes or habitats. You are very interested in helping the monarch butterfly survive and thrive. Many naturalists are worried that the habitats of monarch butterflies are changing, and therefore the butterflies are disappearing. Your audience will be the citizens who live along the monarch butterfly migration flight paths. You will be presenting your findings to them so they can understand the factors impacting the survival of the species in the future. Additionally, you will make recommendations for how the communities can go about making changes that will help monarchs during their migrations. And here's your situation. The monarch butterfly is known around the world as the only butterfly that makes a two-way migration like birds. In the fall, monarch butterflies travel south to warmer locations, such as Mexico and Baja California, because they cannot survive the cold northern winters in any of their life stages. In the spring, they migrate north, stopping to lay eggs in various locations along the way. Without this migration, the species would not be able to survive. Your work as a naturalist is to educate the public of hazards that destroy monarch butterfly habitats and resting spots so changes can be made before it is too late to save this species.
Okay, so now students understand what is expected of them, what they're going to be creating, and what role they're going to take on. I just wanted to highlight there are subtitles that go along with this video. You can view it with English subtitles or Spanish. This next slide will feature things that your students can keep in mind while they're beginning that research process. We will always provide helpful vocabulary words that pertain specifically to this task. And then, as one of the resources, we will provide constructed responses. These are great reading pieces for the students, and they will end with some sort of a prompt. And this one happens to be explain how the monarch butterfly migrates and what is important for them during their journey. Students will have a choice of 2 to 3 products to create for this particular task. And that's up to you how you want to use this. Do you want to give students one product and have them work through that? And then maybe the next time you do a task, give them 2 to 3 so they can choose where their strengths or interests might lie. That just depends on what works best for your classroom. But we like to provide at least 2 to 3 choices. Now you're going to find a deeper description of what they will actually be creating. So here is that butterfly drawing. Next is a brochure. We also have a newscast as an option. And then students can view the design process. This is the engineering process that shows them or asks them to think about brainstorming their ideas, analyzing and deciding, and really creating and revising their final product. Here are some follow-up questions to that video, such as, what are your brainstorming ideas? And then students will be given their next steps, and the last slide will always be a final reflection, asking students about the task as a whole, things that they liked, things they may not have liked, what might they do differently next time. So that is the overview of the performance task itself. Now, just below the performance task, there are some other features I wanted to highlight with you, and we'll go over these tabs next. So first we have the introduction, and this is the text version of the video that is the first slide of that performance task. The next tab is the products that your students can work on. So here we see those 3 choices. These do come with standard aligned rubrics. They are based on a 4-point scale. Here are the student check-in questions, and then the resources tab will contain more information for the teacher. Teacher notes, optional resources that you can use at your discretion. The constructed response does come with a PDF version if you wanted to print that for students. We also have suggested materials for the different products listed here. And there are also additional books that you may want to use with this task, so please feel free to look at those as well. Now, to the right of that is the Standards tab. So for the state of Oklahoma, you'll see the standards associated right here, and we have 3rd and 5th grade standards that associate with this particular task. All right, so from there, I want to share with you some customizing options that you have. And I want to be clear that you do not have to customize if you don't want to. If you'd like to, I want to share with you some of the options that are available. The one thing I would recommend is doing the first step of customizing. The reason is, once you do that, it will save this task for you. So you will always have it to go back to, just like a lesson plan. I know we have teachers who use Backpack every fall. That's their go-to task, and they know they can go to the My Projects and find that task to use. If that's the case and you want to hang on to this task, the only thing you need to do is give your task a name. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you'll need to click Customize Project. When I do, it's going to give me the name of the task and today's date. So simply click into that box. You can remove the date. And I'm just going to give it an Oklahoma name. And I'm going to click Begin Customization. And now it's going to save my task for me to My Projects. So if this is something you want to use with your students, click Publish, and you don't have to do anything extra. However, if you would like to customize further, I want to share with you some of the options that you do have. So under Enable Editing, if you toggle this switch on, it's going to give you a pop-up. So you can go ahead and look down below if you want. If you did want to change up any of that introduction, click the pencil here, and it will give you the option to do that. You can bold, you can highlight things for your students. If you click the 3 dots, you can play around with some of the text. You can remove our check-in questions. You can also add your own check-in questions. So just wanted to let you know those are some things that are available. But the best part is the ability to edit the presentation itself. So let's go ahead and click on edit. Now we're looking at that whole slideshow that we just viewed together. So just to share, I'm going to click on the check-in questions here. I want to show you when you click on it, you can rearrange the order of these slides. So if you wanted to front load these questions before they watch the video, you can do that. If you want to remove some of our questions, the box here on the right side will allow you to do that. So I'm just going to highlight that first question. I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to add my own question. Oops, and it's let me get it in the right spot for you all. Let me do that. And you can see how easy it is to add in your own information. Again, those three dots will allow you to change the font. If you want to highlight things, if you want to add a hyperlink, you can go ahead and do that as well. So just some different options you have. Also, if you click the drop down next to the slide, and let's just pretend you don't want these questions at all, you can remove this slide altogether. And now it's gone. Just one other quick thing I want to show at the bottom of the page, because I want to make sure you know it's available. There is the option to add a slide. So let me show you what this looks like. We do have some slide templates here for you to choose from. There is a basic text template, so you can go ahead and create your own text for your students. You can also click on, let's just say you want to add a video. There is an option to upload a video that you may want to share with your students. You can also change the titles on these as well by clicking into the box on the right. So all things Google, this saves as you go, so you don't need to worry about that. In the upper left corner, you can go back to the project when you're done. So let's go ahead and go back to the project. And the last piece that you'll need to follow up on is publishing this. You can see right now it is in draft format, but if you think this is the copy that you're ready to use with your students, then go ahead and click publish, and this is the version that they will view. The hard copy is always on the site to return to, so even if you wanted to make two versions of this, you can go ahead and make as many as you like. I know sometimes teachers like to differentiate, so please feel free to use this more than once if that's something that works for you. But I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's two options for assigning. So the first would be if students will be working through defined learning, you can go ahead and assign to them through defined learning. They would turn work in through defined learning, and you would grade the rubric right on the site. And that's done by clicking Assign Directly to Students. You'll see your classes, choose the class you want to assign it to, and then click Submit. The other option, and this might be a good option for grades K1, maybe even 2, but there's also a Create Share link here. And this would create a link that will just share the project with your students. So they would just view the slideshow. They would turn in work through a hard copy, a Google Doc, something like that. We would not capture any information as far as their work. So it's up to you how you'd like to do that, but those are the two assigning options. Now I'd like to direct your attention over to the left side of my screen, and let's take a look at the tabs on the left. So we started out on the Home tab where we could search for content. The second tab is My Projects. And as I mentioned earlier, this is where your tasks will go once you give them a name and click that Publish. They will be in here, and you can have them here as long as you like. Next to customized projects are assigned projects. So if you have assigned anything to your students, it will be located here. My Classes is where you'll find your classes if you are rostering through defined learning. But I did want to highlight, you do have a demo student here. You will have that. So if you did want to play around with what does it look like assigning and grading and those kinds of things, if you go to the Classes tab, and then go to impersonate. This is a student that you can impersonate, and you'll be able to view if there were any assigned projects to you and things like that. But let's click Stop Impersonating. And the last tab is Messages. You can message students from here if you'd like as well. But let's pretend real quick we're going to assign a project to our students. So if we go into View Course, and we're going to choose this classroom design. And let's just pretend for today that I'm just going to assign it out as is. I don't want to customize or do anything like that. If I go to assign directly to students, and I'm going to pick my demo class, I'm going to assign it and I'm going to click submit. So now it will be sent to my student's dashboard. So let me show you as a student what that looks like to you. So let me go ahead into the My Classes tab on the left. And if you remember, this is where my classes are and my demo class. And my demo class gives me one student to kind of play around with. If I go to impersonate, there is that classroom design. So this is what it would look like to my students. They would go to View Project, and they would be able to view that whole slideshow right here. If they were working through Define Learning and you wanted them to answer those check-ins, this is what it would look like. They would come in here, they could type out their answers, and then just click Save, and you would be able to view the answers to their questions. Clicking on the Products tab, this is where they can upload their work. So that's how this all works for the students. The other thing I wanted to highlight that is also on their side, if you are working through Defined Learning, students can highlight any of the text. They can have it read to them, they can use the dictionary, or they can use the translate option as well. So just some things that are available here for the student, not to mention the rubric. They'll want to view that so that they know their parameters within the project they're creating. So this is a quick glimpse of the student side. Now let's stop impersonating and let's go ahead back to my projects. And I just want to show you, we said there's the customize, here's the assigned. I did assign that project and I answered one question, so now it's letting me know that this needs review. So if we go to View Project now, under those check-in questions, you can see that one of these has information turned in on it that I need to grade. And here it is, my test. And I can reject or accept that answer from my student. I can also leave them feedback. And I just want to share, students will not see reject, they would see revise. So I just wanted to share that information. When they turn in a project, it would look the same. You would have the rubric to grade them on, clicking on whatever you feel they've earned, and that would be grading through Defined Learning. So let me go ahead. I'm going to take us now back to our home page where we started. I'd like to thank you all for your time, and please feel free to reach out to Defined Learning with any questions you may have. We are more than happy to help. We look forward to our partnership with you. Thanks so much.